Yeah, lunchtime rant. So, woman got denied an organ transplant over the refusal of the COVID-19 vaccine. I think this aired on the news a couple hours ago. So, people, we got to use our brains here, man. We got to, Creator gave us a brain to use to discern things. And when you see these people come on TV, you watch videos like mine, like Mag, like Brandon Taylor, like, all these other guys, Alaskan Whiskey, all these other people making videos. And you watch these clips, bro. It's just damage control. Just in case you happen to run into one of these videos that I'm doing or one of these other truth videos, they're covering all grounds. All right, so don't fucking worry about this story right here. Just know this is how they introduce the concept. This is how they introduce a new law, a new way of thinking, a new ideology for the people. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. They do this every time. Every time they give you a sob story about some random person who got denied, here you are, we got denied a organ transplant because they didn't have the COVID-19 vaccine. What are they trying to tell you?
A number of hospitals around the country are denying organ transplants to people who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 or bumping them down on waiting lists. This raises some ethical questions over.
Don't fucking worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about this lady or this character who probably doesn't exist. Worry about your situation and your overall health. If you're unmarked, if you haven't got the jab, you better stay healthy because they're not going to help you at these hospitals. UC Health. You see why they chose this hospital. UC is 3-3 in numerology. The U is a 3. The C is a 3. 33 Health right here.
Decisions. In one highly publicized case, a Colorado health system denied a woman a kidney transplant. The patient refuses to get a COVID.
This is one that's highly publicized. There's probably a whole bunch more cases that's not publicized at all. But this is the one that they chose to bring to you.
Shot. The patient refused.
And they happen to have all these pictures. Look at these guys, man. Like, come on, bro. They've been doing this for so long. It's like, it's just regular old programming at this point.
Rather, is what it should say, to get a COVID shot because of her religious beliefs. Joining us now to discuss this case is
that.
And of course, it's religious, so you got to have a cross in there, right? Just more TV psychology. Just another way to touch your heartstrings and play on your emotions. The lady has a cross, so she's obviously religious, right?
We're really sacrificed up for the advancement of medicine. And for me, as a sanctity of life person, I can't move forward. So there's this.
So you get denied an organ, and you're sitting here smiling. You're going to go to the TV about it?
Policy put in place for something that could happen versus not getting a transplant, which could 100% lead to the end of my life.
Right. Okay. So that's a pretty good explanation of the mindset towards the person that's going to need the transplant. You're telling me to get a shot for something that may happen when what I already know is I won't live if I don't get this organ. But you're telling me that I need to get the shot for something that I don't have in order to get something that I need in order to live. Make it make sense, people.
Joining us now to discuss this case is our...
All right, so now this guy has books in the background, so he's smart, right? Just more TV psychology. Just more TV psychology. The guy has books behind him, so your subconscious will think that he's smart and he's a doctor. Yes, he's a real doctor because he's on TV being called doctor. You know that everything comes on TV is true, right?
Kaplan, he's a professor of bioethics at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. So this isn't just happening in Colorado. It's apparently happening in hospitals across the country. So the big question here is it ethical to deny an organ transplant if the patient is not vaccinated?
What do y'all think, bro? Do y'all need these people to tell you if it's ethical or not? According to the definition of ethical that they give you, does that break a moral code? Making somebody get a shot that has nothing to do with what they need. They need a kidney. You want them to get a shot for COVID? Come on, man.
Against a contagious disease like COVID-19.
I think it is. And the reason is if you have a disease like COVID, when you get immunosuppressed, when they give you drugs.
He's got a lot of books, people. He must be really smart.
To prevent the transplanted organ from rejecting.
So does anybody else notice how dim his one eye is? Is this guy not dimming one of his eyes? Even if he's not doing it on purpose, he's selected to be this doctor for a reason. Look at this man's eye. This man is shouting out to the one-eyed God. He's shouting out to the eye of Ra. He is.
It's really likely it's going to flare up. As a matter of fact, you require flu shots, measles shots, tetanus.
That's what they're going to do, y'all. And that's their main strategy on how to defend this shit. It's just like everything else you've done. It's just like all the other shots for the measles and the polio. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're going to tie in all the stuff that they've already forced on the human being and say, it's just like that one. Just get this one.
Your update.
Because you have to have all those shots in order to get a transplant. Apparently, in order to get a transplant, you have to have all the prior vaccines. So now what they're doing is making a push to add this to the list. And they don't have to make a push. They just have to say it is what it is, which is what they're doing right here.
So the centers are basically doing what they usually do, which is to say we can't put you at risk of dying from the transplant. We can't lose the organ.
Hello, the person needs a lung, and you're going to deny them a lung saying we can't put you at risk of the lung because you might get COVID. Wow, people. Damn. This is upside down, bro. This is upside down world that you live in, and you don't see it because you're lost in the world. You're lost in this system. You're playing a part in this system by not understanding it, by not taking the time to think about it, by turning away from obvious truth. By turning away from obvious truth, you're not claiming ignorancy. You're not claiming ignorance. You're literally turning your back to the truth.
You've got to be vaccinated.
Wow, you still think this is a vaccination?
I don't know if, when it comes to issues of ethics, if there's sort of a set protocol that the medical community discusses.
There is no ethics when it comes to medicine. Medicine is ruled by science. Science is the enemy of the creator. They don't believe in creation. Science? No. Science believes in the Big Bang. That the Big Bang made all this happen. That the Big Bang is making all this work. Yeah. So, when it comes to science, why would we sit here and try to save our lives through science? I'm not understanding what the human being is thinking right now, but they totally persuade the whole world to come with them, and you're not seeing it.
But we know that the University of Colorado Hospital cited a study that found that transplant patients who contract COVID-19 have a mortality rate of 20% or higher. Would that be enough to justify a denial? The fact that they stand an increased risk of, not surviving?
Wow.
Well, I know that study, and that just traced out transplant survivors, if you will, for a year. You're taking those drugs for the rest of your life, as long as you have that kidney or that.
The human being not supposed to be doing no damn organ transplants. If you happen to not take care of your organs, or the vaccines you get when a kid does long-term damage to your organs, and you can't they don't work properly later on in life, we gotta take what we get. We gotta take what we get, people. We're not supposed to stay here on this earth longer than we're supposed to. We're just not. It's about the soul. And that's what they want you to forget about, is your soul. They want you to worry about your body. Okay? That's science. You think scientists believe there's a soul in you that matters? They're not talking about it. All they're talking about is your time here on this earth, and how to extend it, how to live longer, how to live forever, how to stay young, age defying this, wrinkle defying that. My friend, if you get wrinkles, don't save yourself from the wrinkles. If it's your time to go, don't try to keep yourself here. What the hell is going on? Why would you do that?
Transplanted organ, and so the COVID, if it gets into your body, could kill you at any time. So I'm going to say,
if the COVID,
many transplant centers,
the COVID gets in your body, it could kill you at any time. These people are dying, needing organs, so-called, and you're telling them that the COVID could kill them. Wow. And they say that's not unethical.
We're just going to say we can't face those kinds of risks. We have too many other people who are likely to.
You're not getting the transplant. What risk is it for you? If a person wants to risk it and they're higher on the list because they've been waiting longer, let those fuckers get the transplant. Why would you give the transplant to somebody who hasn't been waiting as long? Because they have a shot for something else.
Do better.
That is crazy,
both
bro.
Survive longer and have a higher chance of survival. And I think that is defensible. We try with the scarce supply of organs, and let's hope that we get more. We should all be organ donors.
No, we shouldn't. Why would you be an organ donor? Why, bro? Everybody doesn't have to believe in whatever they tell them to. They tell you to believe in this, you go believe in it. Why? No, you should not be an organ donor. That's not what the Creator put the organs in you for. That's what science wants to do. Science wants to mix and match body parts. You know, abort kids, abort babies. You know, play with fetal cells and mix up embryo and try to create human beings. And that's what science wants to do, bro. So you can donate your organs all you want thinking they're going to one of these transplant people. They're not.
But when there aren't enough to go around, you've got to make some hard calls.
Aren't enough to go around. Get the fuck out.
So do hospitals have legal standings in these situations?
Of course they do.
You know, they don't. It's basically the transplant team. The way things work is each individual transplant center sets its standards for who it's going to put on the list, Colorado, NYU, Stanford, whoever it is. And then we have a national waiting list. If you're admitted to a center, you're put on that list, and then distribution occurs. There are many programs that are going to say...
That's a long wait for people who's been waiting years, months and years, and they get skipped over by somebody who has a shot for something else. You got you got lung cancer, you need a lung, and somebody who has a shot for a COVID gets the lung or before you.
Got to be up to date on your vaccinations. Giving you a transplant and those drugs that are going to tune down your immune system.
Vaccine, bro. The vaccines y'all are requiring for transplant candidates, what does that have to do with this? The COVID just came around a year and a half, 2 years ago. What does that have to do with this? Why does a person need this? Why don't you just tell the people why they need this shot in order to get an organ?
Is just too dangerous.
Too dangerous. Okay. Too dangerous.
In the case out of Colorado, the woman cited her religious beliefs for not getting a COVID shot because of the role that fetal cell lines played in the development of the vaccine.
They use fetal cells in the vaccine. They use fetal cells. Don't wait for them to tell you, bro. Don't be sitting. I just did a video on that. Literally, just did a video on that. And here they are. This man, random ass guy, he's not a fucking doctor. He's not smart. He doesn't take care of his hair. He doesn't brush his teeth. He gets on here and he tells you what it is. Come on, man. Think this man's in the lab making the vaccine? No.
And I'm not going to give people sort of a big definition, but people should know that when we're talking about fetal cell lines, we're talking about the very first cell when it came to sort of research and development, and that was used many cells ago. So we're not
you're
talking
telling me
about
y'all are using the same fetal cells from many years ago, and that's supposed to be a reason as to why somebody who's against the use of fetal cells is supposed to be accepting this? That's what they're saying.
A direct link between fetal cells and these vaccines. It would have been, I guess, biological. I should really let you, doctor, explain it. But we're not talking about a cell that was removed. We're talking about something that would have happened, decades ago. Anyhow, keeping that in mind, are any of the COVID vaccines, let me get you to clarify. Are any of the COVID vaccines made with fetal cell? And what about a religious exemption?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you're basically pointing out is, do the vaccines contain fetal cells? And they don't.
Okay, but you tested them containing fetal cells. They had fetal cells in them when you tested them. So where did the fetal cells go, bro? Where did they go? These people are lying, man. These people are lying, first of all.
Have they been tested against cells that were derived or produced many decades ago?
What is how long ago they've been derived have to do with a person that doesn't believe they should be used? They're going to explain this to you, and then they're going to tell you to change your mind. That's what they're going to do. Watch.
From a fetal cell, yes. All the vaccines are tested that way.
Okay, then.
And the problem that people who...
Bruh, you're assuming that this person believes in the other vaccines. You can't assume that because they're in prior vaccines, this person has to believe in this one. What if that person is against the other vaccines? You're a kid. When you get them, you're forced to get them. When a person wake up and thinks for themselves, Yeah, they can choose to not want any vaccines from their own. So don't fucking tell us about shit we got when we were kids and couldn't make a choice, acting like we chose to get them shit.
Is that religious concern about using a vaccine that's been tested against cells that were made decades and decades ago, starting with a fetal cell, is that almost everything in medicine is made that way.
Okay, I know a lot of people who won't take any medicine, any, that will go through pain before they deal with medicine. People that will go pick a plant out of the freaking garden and put it in their tea before they choose medicine. I do. So who is he talking to? This is literally a message for the people who are on the fence, right? People who have fears of needing an organ transplant, right? And are against the vaccine. They are tackling each section of hesitancy towards this vaccine, man.
Those immunosuppressive drugs you have to take if you're going to get a transplant. And by the way, many over-the-counter drugs are tested against those cell lines. So just to say I'm not going to accept the vaccine, but then accept the rest of medicine, accept the rest of over-the-counter medicine, doesn't make any sense.
Hello, this ain't medicine, bro. It's not medicine. It's a vaccine. It's not medicine.
Also add the Vatican, for example.
The Vatican, bro. Aren't they in trouble for molesting boys, little kids right now? Don't they get in trouble like 50 times a decade for molesting kids and raping kids as a ritual, as a tradition? How the hell are they coming in saying what they approve of? What, man, look, if you following a religion that does that at the top of the chain, they're molesting kids at the very top. We're not even talking about the bottom feeders of the religion, the small sectors of the religion. We're talking about the main folk at the religious headquarters are molesting kids, and this man has the nerve to get up here and talk about what the Vatican says, bro.
Has spoken out and said it is acceptable morally to use vaccines that were tested.
They also said it's acceptable to abort a 9-month-old fetus. Like, they also said that. Against
cell lines that were derived long ago from fetal cells. So while a person could certainly raise the objection, it should be noted that religious leaders in the traditions are basically saying you've got to protect yourself and your neighbors.
So he's trying to tell you that you don't have a choice. Listen to this man. This man with his one eye is coming up here telling you that, your religion might say that you need to be against it, but hey, your religion done turned its back on you, bruh. Your religion's with us, bruh. We got your religion by the balls, bruh. Who do you think lets them go tax-free? Churches, synagogues, huh? It's just an ordinance, man. They work for these people.
We should note that CBS News has reached out to the University of Colorado Hospital, but has not yet gotten a response.
And they won't, because it's fake.
Kaplan, thank you very much.
It's fake. People, wake your ass up out here, man, because this ignorance to what's going on is going to be the end. People are going to perish for lack of knowledge. I talked to one of my friends, and he said, I just went ahead and got it, man. My grandma was putting pressure on me, And I'm sitting there listening like, bro, ain't no pressure ever made me do shit. I've never been that type of person. Let some pressure force me into a corner that I'm not sure I want to be in, that I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be in. Never. So it's only a certain person that's letting pressure get to them, and this is for them. This is for them, people. This is one of my best friends. He came up and said, yeah, man, I had to go ahead and get it, Lee, because, my grandma was pressuring me about getting it, and da-da-da. I'm like, yo, you went and got something because somebody told you to, that you should? You did that? They told you about your kids and you listened to them? Nah, man. Let me tell you, those are the people, your parents, your grandparents, they thought the moon landing was real, bro. They thought people were walking on the moon. Even though they said there's no gravity up there, they were showing them walking on the moon, leaving footprints. And your parents, your grandparents believed that shit. They didn't take it and look at it and dissect it and discern what was really going on. They didn't see they were looking at something in slow motion. They didn't know that they were being faked. So you go listen to whoever the heck you want to. You can listen to this dude right here if you want. He has all the knowledge in the world. Look at all those books, bro. YouTube gonna strike the video down, but it's okay. It's going up on my BitChute. It's going up on both my channels. And hey, you keep striking me down, just make me want to make more channels. just making me want to make more videos, man. That's all it comes down to. I can't upload on Speak Truth for real for a week, but hopefully this stays up for a day. But at any rate, man, Speak Truth.